It turns out Ivan has sent a second ship that is now landing. The crew gets in contact with Z2, who promises to help, but William tells the team not to share what they've discovered so far. Then Eva and Basile check the results of the samples she's taken and find the same proportion of metals and minerals everywhere in all of them, which isn't natural. Meanwhile, Jean gives Vladimir a modern uniform so he can pretend to be part of the crew, and he asks her to trust his judgment. Soon the shuttle is visited by Z2's armed guards. They explain that they checked the Z1 wreckage and discovered the black box is missing, so they're tracking the signal and followed it to William's shuttle. They want it back and promise to help the crew if they cooperate. William gives them the box and the duo leaves, saying they'll come back later. Afterward, Eva explains that the stone structure is made of material that doesn't exist on Earth. However, Irene has found mentions of it in ancient stories in which they called it orichalcum, the metal of Atlantis. It's made of various metals but also of DNA, which matches the strand they found in Vladimir. The crew wants to exchange Vladimir for fuel, but Jean convinces them to let her get more information out of him. While the crew watches on the security cameras, Jean visits Vladimir and he agrees to be hypnotized. With soft words, Jean guides Vladimir through old memories and he starts describing how he had been falling on his ship. Before he can say more, the power fails and the crew loses the camera. They run to check on Vladimir and find him kissing Jean, so Simon punches him. That night, Jean dreams of Vladimir. When she wakes up, she doesn't remember what happened after the hypnosis started. The crew explains they found her in a dazed state. At that moment they're visited by Captain Gemma and Alan from the Z2. Gemma is an old friend of William's and Alan is the person who invented their propulsion system, so he may be able to fix the shuttle. A quick look indicates everything should be fixable, but Z2 will have to lend them fuel. Meanwhile, Jean starts to remember the hypnosis Vladimir used back on her. She had been sitting at her childhood home with him and he said humans didn't take good care of Earth. He didn't think humanity would survive for long, and Jean agreed. William shows Gemma around the shuttle and she asks the crew about the stone structure, leaving them in shock. Now William has no choice but to admit that 4 years ago a NASA rover sent a